Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, coffee moaners. How are you this morning? Lovely to see you. We have accidentally both got dressed in almost the bloody same thing again. Double black.
It's good. An easy one to do, though, isn't
Go
it?
and
Black.
find a pink scarf or something.
No. Morning, everyone. Morning, Tanya. Morning, Ellery. Morning, Karima. Morning, if you're listening on podcast. Got a very, very light-hearted. Well, I say light-hearted, and then I look down at the bottom. We've got two video clips that are deeply, deeply distressing and upsetting. So we're obviously going to be touching upon a couple of moments from, or a couple of details or testimonies relating to Gaza and Lebanon, but we are going to have a little bit more fun elsewhere in the live today. Thank you for all your messages. Yes, we didn't do a live yesterday. Very kind messages. Everyone knew that something was up, and I said it was a bit tricky, and so very, very lovely messages. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So what are we doing, Nat?
We are doing this morning. We've got a video that we've got a story that we both just loved this morning, didn't we? And we were like, they're gonna love this.
Yeah.
They are gonna love this. So and this is well, it's just the title, the Scam Beta. And we'll come to that in a minute.
But on that note, have a think about the scams. Have you been victim of? Have you fallen foul of any scams or attempted
Well, you'll know
scams?
somebody. I mean, everybody's been touching it some way, haven't they? Heard stories. I mean, the other day at work, there was about 4 or 5 people that told, all very bright, all very switched on people that got scammed. So, this idea that you have to be an idiot to be scammed is ridiculous. Restaurant rip-off. Mark loves this story, don't you?
Well, I don't love it, but it struck me this weekend. And when I read it, I just found myself having a very strong opinion about it.
And I don't know what your opinion is yet. So we see if our strong opinions align or not. Mark is very excited about this story. Apple's iCloud trap. It's one of those where he goes, see, I said this. I told everyone. I've been saying it for years. And now look, it's happened. So you'll find out more about that.
I hate told you so, but I told you so.
He told us so. Thing is, nobody disagreed with him.
Well, everyone looked at me like I was mad.
They didn't.
They did. Everyone got so frustrated.
I didn't. I got frustrated because I needed it, but I didn't think you were wrong. And the press up age challenge. I'm hoping we won't have time for that because, as you know, anyone that follows me on Instagram, it's been quite a journey for me with press ups. Yeah,
and apparently, this is the story that at certain points or certain ages, there is a certain amount that you should be able to do from essentially a standing start immediately off the floor with no,
Is it just press ups? Is there anything
just
else?
Press up, just push ups.
Just standing like that.
No push ups.
No, but at my age, at 60, what they talk about a lot is. People
we're not talking about that.
No, but I'm just saying it's funny because we're going to do a press-up challenge. But as I'm 60 on Monday, all this stuff keeps popping up to me at 60. It's like, are you able to get out of your chair without holding this?
Well, I think it's fair to say you might be 60 on Monday, but you look so young, whereas I look like an absolute haggard old bastard.
Talking about you're not the least bit haggard.
I feel like shit today. Look like shit.
Nice.
Look like
cheery.
Shit today. Well, we can be honest with each other, can't we? Hi, Faith Goodman. Hope you're well. Okay, so I'm going to pop up a photograph of someone who is potentially, or do you want to pop up a photograph of the person, or do you want to lead us into this story?
So, let's chat through first.
Yeah. Well,
going to our scam story, which is our favourite story of the year. Had to send this straight to Betty because I thought this is so Betty. It would have been Thelma. She'd have loved this story.
Yeah.
And so basically, is it O2? O2 realised that people are sick to death of being scammed. And Scam Awareness Week is coming up next week. I had no idea there was a Scam Awareness Week.
No.
So they have created or got somebody to create for them. What?
I think we should just show them a photo, don't you?
All right, show them a photo.
Because then
you do it.
No. Who do you think this is?
It does look a bit like your nan. If you had to name her, what would you call her?
What would you give this woman as?
I think I would give this woman Margaret.
Marge.
Not Marge.
I'd say Marge.
I think she's more of a Margaret.
I'd say Marge.
She's not a Phyllis. There's a cat, lovely cat. What name would you give her?
She looks
Mavis.
Mavis.
Dorothy.
Ethel.
Ethel.
Faith. Doris, Mavis,
So,
Phyllis, Sarah.
Phyllis.
I don't know if that name, Phyllis. That's a
Well, Phyllis
Okay.
or Margaret is the most extraordinary woman.
Yeah.
She is
This woman is
phenomenal because she and many, many others, almost exactly like her,
Mhm.
are part of O2's scam buster gang.
Yeah.
Right? And what they are doing is fantastic. Scammers may call their number and they will keep them on the phone for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour sometimes, boring them to death, and also collating information about them at the same time. Should we listen to one of her?
Let's listen to that. I think this is a kind of, it's almost like, you know, when you get in a magazine an advert column or an advert article. What do they call, and it's an article, but it's an advert. This is like an advert news report.
7 in 10 Brits have been targeted by scammers. And it's not just our grandparents. I was one of them.
O2.
But this film isn't about getting scammed. This is about getting even. Meet my friend, Daisy.
Hello, scammers. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm an AI created by O2 to waste phone scammers' time. So, W's then a dot.
3 times W and then dot.
I think your profession is bothering people, right?
I'm just trying to have a little chat.
It's nearly been an hour! For the love of...
Gosh, how time flies. It's showing me a picture of my cat, Fluffy.
It's showing you a picture of your cat, Fluffy.
Stop calling me dear, you stupid.
Got it, dear. Because while they're busy talking to me, they can't be scamming you. And let's face it, dear, I've got all the time in the world.
So whilst you're out enjoying life, Daisy and O2 are here fighting scammers, taking calls and wasting hundreds and hundreds of hours of scammers' time. If you want to help Daisy and O2 ruin a scammer's day, you can report scam numbers to 7726. Because you can't do it all on your own, can you, Daisy?
Who says I am, love? Speak soon, scammer.
At that point, it gets a little bit sinister.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the serious side of this is how often do we fall into things because we're given something that we think, oh, this is really going to help us. And then before we know it, all the cats are out of the bag and we can't control it. So right here, right now, this is funny, this is thing, but my God, what does it say about the future?
As I was watching it, though, I was thinking that this is a great premise for a really thought-provoking film in which Daisy, the scam baiter,
becomes a scammer.
Becomes sentient and starts to scam back at other people. She
Well,
learns
what about if
from
she
the
becomes a
scammers.
double agent?
Yeah.
And works with the scammers.
Or she starts to, because her programming is to sense any scam, she senses the scam of government, the scam of politics, the scam of everything. Because everything's a scam.
But for now, isn't that fantastic? Because people are sick to death of these scammers. A friend of mine played to me she recorded him, this guy who was scamming her. And you see that one there, he goes, "You shut up, you nasty eat pig."
Mm-mm.
He was of that level. It
I had one of
was
those.
so vicious. He said, "I know where you live. I'm coming round. I'm doing all of this." It was absolutely petrifying.
And what they do is, if you sort of sense a rat or smell a rat, and you kind of push back in a phone call, which I did once,
really nasty.
What they then do is they subcontract or they send out or spread your number to other providers. So you then suddenly become overwhelmed with calls.
So it's much better. Don't get into that.
Don't get engaged. Just put the phone down.
Don't get engaged. But I love the thought of her boring them to tears.
Oh my God, yes, dear.
Especially if she's,
especially
the fact that she sounds so vulnerable at the beginning. So I think, oh, it's going to be worth putting the time in here because I'm going to get it all from her. Do you love it?
Oh, I love it.
Do you love that story, guys?
And I love how frail she is, but she isn't. And it's tech. She's the Terminator.
She is the Terminator.
The Terminator in
Let's
Daisy
read a few
form.
comments of what people think.
Faith Goodman, if you get a scam call, put phone down, then ring a friend so they can't stay on the line, then ring a trusted bank number on your card. Very important. Ring someone else before bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently also never put your card numbers into, when they ask, when you're on your phone on Open Talkback, scammers can hear the sound of the numbers,
Yeah.
you know, so you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Karima Hamdi, the husband was scammed recently, ran up thousands on his credit card within a minute, luckily cottoned on and managed to stop it.
Well, and what a scam at the moment is outside car parks. Have you seen this? Where, you know, you can have what's not a barcode, what's it called? When you, a scanner thing in the car park, where they're sticking over the top of that a fake one. And so you would have no idea. You'd put your phone on it to scan it, and within seconds you're clear. They've got all your information from your phone, everything.
Wow. I mean, what I'm hoping is that they have a sort of technological way, O2, of then tracking who's tracking them, so they can actually prosecute them, rather than just wasting their time. Do you know what I mean?
There's probably more going on with that than they're going to tell you.
Yeah, my mum pretended to be me a few years ago, and the scammer asked what I was wearing. Disgusting symptom, Lizzie Russell.
Age 13.
MeTube, how many phone numbers will be consumed by this, though? That's very pragmatic kind of concern. Tori, hi, Tori. Recently happened to my mother-in-law. They took everything from her bank. Did they? Did hell.
The bank give her it back, Tori?
Never, you know, if you don't know a number, don't ever answer it.
I never answer
It's
a number.
as simple as that. Don't ever answer a number if you don't know the ID on it or the name on it. And I would recommend not having a landline anymore. I mean, they are going out of fashion. My mum has a landline, and she never answers it. Christos,
the
Amazon delivery scam and scam brushing are pretty popular now too. The delivery service, it's constant. The amount of emails that I get from here's the way to know whether you're being scammed by an email.
I don't know with this.
Always go to, the email address line. You have two identifiers of an email. It will be the name that goes to the outside world, and it will be the actual email address. So like, when I get an email from you, just on the top line, it just says Nadia Sawalha.
Yeah.
Then you click on it in Outlook, and it reveals your full email address. So when you get an email, say a classic one is they do it a lot with Apple, they do it a lot with Disney, all the streaming services and all the delivery parcel services. Click on the every, and when you click on it, more often than not, the email address is just total gobbledygook. It's an email address, but it doesn't relate to every.com. It's rarely the company. So you would expect it to be, I don't know, infodeliveries@every.com. Yeah. It's usually every.35614 at 32 something . It's a totally incoherent but usable email address. Let me see if I'm going to see if I can find one now. They come through all the time, so that when you actually click on the actual email address, it doesn't relate to anything to do with the actual organization. This could be an actual every. Let's have a look. Let's see if this is.
Have you had a lot of them?
Look. So look at this. Your delivery has been rescheduled. Click here to reschedule. There's the scam. I'm just looking at one now.
Oh my God.
Look at the address. Hang on. Let's look at the address. Copy address. I'm just coming over here. Just 1 second. I'm just going to copy the address to here. I'm just doing this for Nad, so I just want to prove to you. Look, that's the address.
Oh my God.
So Nadia's looking at every shipping. See that? Reschedule your package. Now I know I've got a package coming in. I could have, if you click on that, you're down the wormhole.
Oh my God.
So I've literally just gone to my inbox and there's one. So if the email address, but it presents in your inbox as the actual company that you've booked from. So, and you can do that without compromising your kit. You can just click on it to look at the actual underlying total email address that it's coming in from.
Wow.
So there you go. Anyway, just on that note, let's just have another look at lovely Daisy. Her name is Daisy, and there's a cat, Fluffy. Oh.
Zoe, someone tried to scam my granny Jean years ago, and she caught on, told them to fuck off. I miss her. Nobody messed with her. Yeah, my mum is pretty good on that as well. Dina had one once, didn't she? Where her computer just started giving out this terrifying urgent. She said it so that it puts you into a panic.
Wow.
Then it started speaking to her. The whole
she's got
thing
a PC. PCs Apple does have a baked in. 14 months ago, my phone was stolen on a night out. James Flanagan. Hi, James. Soon realised all they needed was my phone to gain access to my bank account. Long story, but I never store bank details on my phone anymore. Revolt. Yeah. I mean, your phone is the most valuable asset, especially if you use Apple Pay. That's why I'm a little bit reluctant to put all my cards into Apple Phone, because as soon as they're in the phone, they can just use it. And don't forget, more often than not, the reason you get a lot of phone snatchings on the street is at the point of snatch, because people are often
on
using
their phone.
They're in and it's open,
Yeah.
so you're not locked out. The security isn't working, so be mindful of that. On that note, let's just quickly touch on iCloud, because this is Which, the kind of what do they call Which? What's it called when you're a customer service? What's it called?
God,
What are they called? Like watchdog.
Consumer group.
Consumer watchdog. That's right. Which are taking Apple to court, and I'm really pleased about this, because Apple are accused of trapping and ripping off 40 million iCloud customers. And I just want to say, I told you so.
They deny it all.
Yeah, I want to say I told you so. For years, on most Apple devices, there's the frustration that you run out of storage. There's always a moment of urgency where suddenly, it's a bit like Christmas. We know it's coming, then it's only suddenly it's upon us. So we all look at our storage and we know we're inevitably reaching the end. And then we all go, I can't, I need space. What do I do? And more often than not, people will pivot towards iCloud. I have always said, especially because of the photos I've got of Nads, don't ever save
He's
things.
joking.
No, I am joking. Don't ever save things to iCloud. It's been an instinct without necessarily any reason for years. And I've just thought, I don't know. I don't want to be forced into storing anything that isn't actually digital still, but actually on the thing that I'm holding. And it would appear that Which feels that Apple and many other kind of handsets and forms of kind of cloud storage have essentially been racketeering and forcing customers into buying things that they don't need, or especially Apple products where they don't allow you to store your content anywhere else. It has to be on their own cloud system. So prices for cloud storage on the iPhone range from 99p a month for 50 gigs to £55 a month for 12 terabytes. And I don't know if you get these, anyone with an Apple phone, and it's a bit boring for Nads, but you'll probably get an alert on your phone that always comes up and you look a bit panicked. It's a little red dot and it says iCloud storage. So many people just automatically go, to get rid of it. It's very hard to get rid of it. But at the bottom, it always, have I become a watchdog person? At the bottom, it says not now. Go through the process and always click not now, and then simply get your content off your phone onto a hard drive. Yeah. Don't ever use iCloud. I definitely have fallen
for that in the past.
Oh,
because then it's really hard to get out of it.
It's really hard to get out of it. And also then you're caught in the kind of sticky web of when you remove stuff. Do you remember the nightmare that Maddie lost all those photos?
Yeah.
Once you enter the iCloud, it's hell.
And then it will just suddenly download everything when you've just cleared off your phone. You get it all back again. I remember that. I've got bloody thousands of photos back.
Bit boring for Nads. I know one has a limited time. Okay, so what did you want to talk about next?
Can't remember.
The restaurant ripoff. This is this guy. Let me just pull him up. This chap here. This chef.
I have to say, this restaurant sounds adorable. Before we talk about,
it's very sweet, isn't it?
It's very sweet.
It's like a mini.
It's like
this is it here.
It's
like in a train station.
Old-fashioned, isn't it? And you can. There's books and it's a bookshop as well, and something else I can't remember. It just looks like the most adorable place.
Yeah. So at first I thought, okay, I'm going to tell you what I thought at first, and I'll tell you what he says. So basically, his argument is he's complaining that people use restaurants and they're not ordering enough. I.e., me and Nadia walk into a restaurant, we sit down, we're not that hungry, but we sit at 2 seats at a table and we order. Let's get a main course and share it.
Yeah. Now, first of all, you should read out some of the things he said because he's very inflammatory.
No, exactly. So then I read this. Yeah.
Because he's this place is like a tiny little bookshop. Yeah. It feels like, it looks like it's more of a cafe than a restaurant, and he's only open for lunch. And he says, he said this. He said on
Instagram, he said restaurants aren't public benches. You are there to spend money. It's lamenting the death of the long boozy lunch. He wrote, it's now apparently completely normal to book a table for 4 people and then order 1 starter and 2 mains to share and a glass of tap water.
Carry on with reading it.
There was at one point an etiquette in restaurants that if you booked a table in a nice place, you at the very least had to order a main course and possibly even a starter or dessert and drink wine in order for your table to be worth serving. At the very least, order correctly, drink some wine, justify your presence in the room that afternoon. If you do not drink because you have done so to such excess that it can't be permitted, then come hungry and eat your fair share. And in the case that a plate of radishes is enough for you and your 3 friends for lunch, then perhaps an allotment would be a better investment than a table at a restaurant. I mean, so at first I thought,
whereabouts is
fuck
this
off.
restaurant again?
I
think he's suffering that sort of Gen Z sort of, we come in, we share, we don't need to be excessive. We'll just drink water because we don't drink anymore.
It's in North London.
It's only an 18-seater. It's tiny.
The Yellow Bittern. It's called the Yellow Bittern.
I want to go. Let's go. Let's go to his restaurant. Let's go and sit down and say, my fine sir, could we try everything on your menu?
Now,
there's not much on the menu.
Now, what do you think about this? What do you think? Do you think he's right? Does anyone think he's right?
Well, I think.
Sadie C, he's right though.
I think that
greedy God.
I would think I wouldn't go into a restaurant and share a main and ask for a glass of water,
right,
and take up a table. The thing is, he could be deemed very rude. Look, he looks so cross. What? But it's really hard to run these businesses.
But you know what? I actually quite like.
And he's not too expensive. £6 for a green salad. We are in London. Things here are unbelievably expensive. Radishes and butter, £6.
Is that a lot? It is a lot.
Radishes and butter.
Yeah, but they're nice radishes. Pork rillot.
I'm really sick of people serving just radishes.
Leek and potato soup at £7.
That's very reasonable for
London. Is it?
Very reasonable.
Cottage
for London.
pie, 20 quid. What's a Dublin coddle?
I don't know, but please do not give me a plate of fucking radishes
and butter. Do you not want to go there now?
Well, I'm going to have a row with him now. You're having a go at us, and you're serving radishes and butter.
Because I was about to say I quite like big, outspoken, burly, miserable.
Because we got so many people that don't say anything.
And the landlord of a local pub here, which we were filming at, the reason I got on with him so well was he was in the papers recently saying, don't bring your kids here for Sunday lunch because they're fucking noisy and fucking annoying. And he was in the local paper, and I went in and I literally was walking past the pub, I went, I'll just shake your hand. And he said, what for? I said, I fucking loved what you said. He said, it went down like a bucket of shit round here. I said, but have you had any kids? And he said, no, it's been joyful ever since. I mean, you just say it as it is. I suppose if you're the head...
I suppose when you're running a small restaurant and you're working your ass off, because I know the pub you mean, he works in the tiniest kitchen. The heat in there is unbearable on a Sunday, or I should think, or any busy day. And it's their home. Yeah. They're not earning tons of money, and so they have the right to say, do you know what, I can't be asked with that. I can't be asked with 20 buggies and kids running into my kitchen. Apparently some of the Tarquins were being allowed to run into the kitchen to have a look.
Tarquin was going up one of the poles in the pub. It was
Tarquin
what is this? It's not an adventure playground.
Yeah, so I like to think it's not mia casa tua casa, it's mia casa, and can you just please leave?
It's those parents who allow their toddlers to stand on the table and push their faces in your dish and eat your food, and you're like, this isn't charming
to say. Sometimes when you go into a restaurant, right, and you can smell children. Love children, but there's like buggies and chips all over.
Tarquin's fingers always stink.
And I suppose if you own your restaurant, then you just don't have to put up with that. Do you?
So keep the fucking kids out. I don't know. I thought there was something quite funny about him. Okay,
I actually love kids.
The part of the live that Nadia's been dreading, push-ups.
Well, I can't do any.
Well, we're going to find out how many you can do.
I can't do any.
All right. Don't be careful. I'm going to tell you how many you're supposed to be able to. How many do you think?
10. I think at my
given
age,
that you're on the edge of 60.
Oh, shut up.
What do you think you should be able to do?
I think I'm 10. I think it's 10. I think now when we say should, what they're talking about here is these are like the minimum. A push-up is so unbelievably good for you, for the brain, because that movement of the blood up and down, this is what, God rest his soul.
There's other things that are quite good for that.
Everything. It's just so good for everything. I am trying hard to build up.
Give us one.
I can't give you one.
You can do one.
No, I don't know how many more times I said. I can't do a push-up.
Not even one? No. You're supposed to be able to, at your age, do 12.
12, but I'm working towards it.
So fast, so here we go. Let's have a look. What are the numbers here? In the 35-year-old age bracket, the number drops by 1 for women. So at 35, men should be able to do 21 push-ups. A 25-year-old man should be able to do 28, and a woman should be able to do 20. As you get older,
This shows good fitness level.
Yeah.
And the sooner you start this, so you're not like me trying to get it done. No, it's 10 for me. It's 12 for men.
yeah, that's what I said. Fast forward to, at 45, women should be able to do 14 push-ups, and the count stands at 16 for men. For 55-year-olds, it goes to 10 push-ups for women and 12 for men.
But many fitness experts do say this should be taken with a pinch of salt.
But there are two
because
very
it depends on so many different things.
But also there are different types of push-ups. There's the push-up where you kind of go out, splay outwards, and then there's the push-up where you actually do a narrow push-up.
Which is much harder.
Much harder, and that's the only push-up that Joe Wicks gets us to do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I have this huge bloody problem with my thumb, so it's actually really painful for me to do it as well, but I don't have the strength. But I'm doing different things like hanging more and doing, you see, you can't just like leap in and just start to try and do push-ups. Like with, it's all this, especially for women, because we just don't build up in that way. We don't do enough work on our shoulders. Also, I've got hypermobility. So I've got this really weird thing where I go like that, so it's really bad for your joints. So you have to do this thing where you almost leave your arms bent. Then it puts more pressure here. So, you know, there's lots of reasons why people can't do it. And so you don't need to get paranoid and think, oh my God, what's this going to...
MeTube is currently on number 9. I should have done 10 by the end of this live.
Oh, well done.
Well done. Faith Goodman, do you remember doing the floor to standing age test you did several years ago? We're nearly dead. We
couldn't do that.
We couldn't do that. Sarah D, my husband is 40 and can do 30. Wow. I watch him whilst eating buttery toast most mornings. How many of us are on the floor doing push-ups now? Okay, well, I'm going to see how many I can do. Tilt that down.
How many are you supposed to be able
I'm supposed to be able to do 12.
Okay. Well, you can do 12.
Just tilt it down.
Can't you do 20, 30? I thought you could do about 30.
12, yeah, but I'm going to be here all day.
You could get a bit boring. Yeah, look and see, that's a proper push-up. You see, guys, how he's doing this and not this, because apparently you can do that all day long. I can't even do one of those either. But this one is the really different. Mark, you do a beautiful press up.
14. 15.
Well done. And you're not even out of breath.
Not out of breath.
Well done.
Toffee,
yeah, so
like clockwork, always on the money.
But also, what's the other one about being able to stand on one leg for how long it is? That's the other one has to, because it's the balance. Balance is so important.
Sadie C. Mark dressed like the milk tray man today. Yeah, it's kind of
where's my box of chocks?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Anyway, guys, it's been lovely hanging out with you.
Yes.
And I can't remember what's happening next. But if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.
And we are reacting to the John Lewis advert later today.
Oh, yeah. Dina's popping round and we're going to do that. And we're posting that.
Take care. Bye.